Hello there, and welcome back to the Spa Sisters podcast with my co-host Carly Chamberlain and myself, Julie Wren. Today we have with us the wonderful Katrina Dunne, who is the founder and director of the Wellness Card, and we are so looking forward to hearing all about her journey and her nuggets of advice. So welcome, Katrina.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I feel very honoured to be here.
Oh, lovely. So we always begin with the top question, which all of our guests was how did you get to where you are as being, founder and director of the Wellness Card? And if you could also just tell us a little bit about what is the Wellness Card?
Okay, so I suppose you cut me in the middle. I've got HR. My background's HR, so I've been a HR director and been in HR for the last too many years, about 20 years. And I'm very, very passionate about employee well-being and employee reward and recognition, about saying thank you and looking after your staff and showing as an employer that you care. And so I've done that for the last 20 years. The Wellness Card really came out of COVID. So one of my other roles is we run gift card programs for other companies. And my husband and business partner is a gift card consultant and expert and helps support other companies with their gift card programs. And during COVID, it was clear from a HR point of view that the shift was moving towards we need to support our employees, both mental and physical health coming out of that. Now, even more so with economic climate, energy crisis and all of that, employees really need support. So as a HR director, if you've got a number of offices and you've got employees all over the UK, you haven't got time to speak to lots of different employee wellness providers. So the Wellness Card is where it's in one place. It's a gift card where it offers a wellness experience, both online, in person, or at home in one place. So it gives a HR or it gives a company one place to say, we want to care for you. We want to offer you wellness. We want to support you. Here you go. But the good thing is what I think of wellness might be different to you. So it means I can, with my HR or employee head on, say, I'm giving you wellness. But when I receive the card, I can go, okay, am I going to choose something for me? Am I going to choose something for my family or my children? Do I want it at home? Do I want to go out? There's lots of flexibility. So it's a very simple concept.
Really wonderful. Thank you. So you said you have an HR background and you're passionate about employee well-being. Have you always been in HR?
So I started off in hospitality, ironically, and then moved into recruitment. So which is, and again, those skills in terms of finding the right people and matching people, etc., has worked. And then moved into recruitment, and we went from a small company to a very large company very, very quickly, and managed different types of people. And for me, I think and I've been a consultant as a HR consultant, going into companies and helping them with their staff retention or why have we got this problem, that problem. And sometimes it's really simple, that it's how you treat people. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a huge well done or a huge thank you, but it's a simple things of recognition, reward and all of that, and what you have in place and looking after your staff. So yeah, I've got lots of examples, and I've seen firsthand how looking after your staff in that way, in a caring way, and looking after their well-being, really it works. It's like a switch. It just really works.
Lovely, fantastic. So you work with, I understand, small businesses.
Yes.
Is that correct? So what would be the best advice that you could give someone today about setting up a wellness business? And more importantly, how to make it successful? Because as we know, I mean, a lot of times therapists and maybe holistic-minded people don't often have perhaps the business skills. I mean, if you're a one-woman business, you have to wear so many different hats, marketing, finance, but all you want to do is make people feel amazing and fantastic. So what would be your advice there to get them going, having yourself been from a small business to transitioning to a larger business as well?
Okay, so I've got a number of points here, so I'm just going to go through them, because I know you gave me these questions before, and I just thought, well, there's quite a few sort of bits of advice I can offer. I think to start with, I think when it comes to your pricing of your wellness experiences, is looking at who your customer is going to be, and making sure you've got a price point below and just slightly above. so that you can capture them all. So there's no point in creating a wellness experience and pricing yourself out of the market. So I think the costings and where you position yourself is really important. Looking at similar products or similar services and just getting the price point right, but offering starting here to starting there. I think what's really important is selling the transformation. So sometimes you see on Instagram, etc., the befores and afters, but with a lot of wellness experiences, it's how you feel. So it's trying to get across to the customer, if you have this wellness experience or this treatment or whatever, how you're going to feel at the end of it. So the benefits. I think sometimes people don't sell the benefits of you using the products or the services. So that's really, really important. And video, especially on social media, people love video. And I do think if you're a small business, social media, Instagram, Facebook to a point, but works really, really well. We do a lot of reels, and people love those. So I think if you're a small business on that, that's somewhere to start. I think from a collaboration point of view, like you said, if you're passionate about your business and your products and your services, but sales and marketing are not your strength, then work with somebody who is. And I think making sure they align and they have the same values as you, that's important, because they're an extension of what you do and how you say it. So I think that's important, that you have built a rapport with them, you trust them, and they can do a good job in doing that. So as a business got I will sometimes look at the elements of our business and say, okay, fine, I'm not an expert in X, I'm going to employ someone to do that. I don't, I've got a great team and sales and marketing, great people to do that as part of that team. I can't say to you, I'm an Instagram expert or a marketing expert. I've got my HR head on and I know what HR people need to look after employees. So I think it's working out what your skill set is and then looking at working in partnership with somebody that can help you on that side of things.
So what I'm hearing is that the advice would be, in fact, no matter what the size of your business, invest in a business coach that matches your values and that can help you grow, because you can't leverage a business, I think, if you are sort of like trying to do everything.
Yeah,
you come to a point where it's like you have a limit of what you can do. So you
there's a tipping point, isn't there? There's a tipping point of, okay, I've got to this size now. Am I going to get bigger? Who do I need around me to help support me go to the next stage? And it's all on relationships and trust as well. It's, what we do in the wellness industry is very personal, isn't it, in terms of what we do, and people are very passionate about the services and the products that they have. So it's making sure that the people you work with you trust and have the same values. I think that's really important.
Exactly. So that takes, I think, Carly, onto our next part, which we wanted to talk to Katrina about, but which is about sort of like, what are your products? Are you also going to attach to that wellness experience, and how could they be also integrated perhaps in your wellness card offering?
And before we go into that question, you're just picking up on that point you mentioned there, Katrina, about if you can't do it or you're not an expert in it, get someone else to do it. I think from having a small holistic business myself 10, 15 years ago and building it, people will say, well, I can't afford an expert. I can't afford to bring someone else on to do that part of the business. But the beauty of the modern working kind of environment now is that there are so many entrepreneurs out there who want to be marketing experts and give their services, collaborate. They may not be charging huge amounts of money because they're also entrepreneurs in that sector who want to grow. So collaboration is everything. And there are websites now. I'll try and find some links for people in this at the end. But, there are hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs who sign up to websites that you can connect with them, and they are reasonably priced services and really great talent, So it's important for people to know that
absolutely,
if they're thinking, oh, they've got to employ someone, they're thinking that's going to be a huge cost that they cannot afford. So how can people work differently these days? And there are those opportunities available. So it's not, all or nothing, if you like. But
I think as well, sorry,
yeah,
Carly, to jump in there because you just reminded me of something, is that you have people like virtual assistants that you can hire for so many hours per month to take care of certain jobs. So I think, once you've got it clear in your head what it is you need help with, then you can say, well, actually, if I could just release X amount of time, I can do X amount more of what I love doing, which means that I can pay that person. So it's kind of like rationalizing it out. And then slowly, incrementally, as you get the help and the business grows, you can take the next assistant or the next piece of. So it's not a straight line. You have to always be going like up,
yes.
up.
Yeah,
Sorry,
definitely.
Yeah, you are right. And networking as well, in terms of there are people out there that will help you. It's just reaching out to saying, can you help me with X or can you help me with Y? I mean, obviously from our point of view, it's free to be on the wellness card.
Yeah.
So, and there's only a service fee at the end if we bring you a customer. So, and that was important to us as a concept, because as you say, people haven't got necessarily a lot of money if they're running their own business, if it's a small business, it's important that you look at all those costs. So, but yeah, there's lots of people out there.
Yeah, so just bringing that back round to our last question for you, talking about products, talking about retail sales that go hand in hand, obviously. How do we pick the right brand partners if we have a small budget and we're a small business? How do we become confident sellers? And how do we move with the trends and transition to technology-based solutions? I say this, a lot of holistic therapists or beauty therapists are very savvy with technology.
Yeah.
And they work with it in a spa or salon environment anyway, and then also be having their own business on the side so they can kind of work across both avenues. But some therapists are pen and paper, hands-on bodies. How do we make sure those therapists and businesses aren't being lost with, as things change?
Well, I suppose it's, as a business owner, if you're running your own business in terms of like a therapist, etc., it's working out where your customers are coming from as well. So where's your customer base? What have you got currently now? And what more do you need? You know what I mean? It's about obviously increasing sales and also getting yourself out there, if that makes sense. So I think it's looking at what my customer base is now and what more do I want and where will I get those from? So is that from technology, and can I cope with that? So if I do X and then bring extra business in, have I got the capacity to deal with that? As you say, I mean, there are different people out there from a marketing point of view. If you're not tech savvy on the marketing side, there are apps out there. And again, it's looking at who you can work with that's not going to cost a lot of money, that will then help boost your business, if that makes sense.
Interesting. And with brands, how do we encourage therapists to upskill and be confident in selling products that obviously aren't theirs, if you like, but because there's a lot of like direct sales models now. For example, I'm thinking Neil's Yard, Tropic Skincare. These are different business models that give therapists or small businesses opportunities to still make sales without the big outgoings of, big orders and holding stock and all of that. What's your view on that? Do you think
so
that's successful? Do you think it works?
Yeah, I mean, I think customers are very savvy and they can see through things if they are being sold something to that you don't believe in. That's my personal opinion. So I go into plenty of spas, I go into plenty of places, through the business and my own sort of passion. And you can see if someone has got a product here, you can tell that, what are the benefits of this? I don't really know, but that their objective is to try and get a sale and commission, etc. So I personally think that you have to believe in what you're selling. You have to understand the product you're selling. You have to understand the benefits of that product and how that's going to help the customer. And whether you get that across via Instagram or social media, but you only need to go on Instagram and you can say, oh, I've got this and it does that. And people can see through that. So I think it's about authenticity. If you've got a therapist that is selling something product-wise, they have to have done their research. I mean, I know you train and you're into all of that. And I know we've spoken before on another about another product, and you personally are so passionate, I then became like completely obsessed. And then and then I told everybody about it because I'm like the benefits but that is because you're passionate about it and believe in it. And I think that is really important, that comes across, because people can see through it. I think people can see a sales pitch. People can see, does that face cream really work? Does that, and it's about showing the benefits and that you're really passionate about it. So I know some therapists they know they have to sell products. They've maybe done a treatment, and the next stage is then, we're now going to go things. But they have to have I think they have to have done their homework and their research and their training into what they're selling and the benefits. And that will come across then really genuine.
Yeah.
And then that person then will say, okay, this makes sense. You're not just trying to, that's
great.
I think it's really important.
Have you got any final takeaways for us with all your knowledge and background and experience? Have you got any top takeaways that you want to share today with us and our audience?
I suppose it's working out where you want your brand or your business to go. In what way do you want it to go from a gaining more customers point of view? Clearly, with my head on, I sit in a HR B2B space and B2C space, and I am talking to all these different employers, and a lot of our partners are, what can I say? As you said, entrepreneurs that have got their own products and they really feel passionately about them, and it's being able to partner with someone, I think, that can speak for you, that can then take what you do to these other people, if that makes sense. I'm not really getting that across very well, but it's speaking on behalf of, so I can say, I deal with so and so, and they've got a Dead Sea salt and it's really brilliant and it does this for you, and that that your product or service or spa experience or whatever is being sold in the right way, not that we're talking about the benefits, etc. So I just think the therapists and wellness businesses and partners are very passionate about their own business, which is brilliant. And it's making sure that when you then use other people, that they are going to do the same thing for you. They're not going to dilute it, and they're going to get that message across. And I think that is the key thing, is that you've worked hard to build your own business. Make sure it's not diluted in the way you don't want it to be diluted. Make sure that, whoever you talk to, whoever you deal with, respects what you do and gets that across the other way. I think it's really, really important.
Great.
Thank you.
Julie, do you have anything else to add?
Yes, I'd just like to ask Katrina, what would a therapist do if they had a lovely wellness experience that they'd curated, that they want to get out there and put on the wellness card? What would they need to do?
Okay, so I can give you a link, and you can basically follow this link. It's very simple, because I know some people go, I can't create a profile page, it's technical, and that's not really my thing. So we have made it, for me, like an idiot's guide, which would be me. If I can do it, then I know that everybody else can do it. So basically, you just fill in a form that with the images and bits and pieces. We guide you through it. All the team are based in the UK. We can speak to somebody if you're not that technical. You create a profile page, you see it before it goes live, so you check it out and make sure you're happy with that, and then it goes live. And then we do all the marketing, all the Instagram lives, all of that is free. So we will then promote your business also into the B2B channels as well. So talk to employers about what you do, etc. So it's very simple. And then you just sit there and wait for somebody to redeem the gift card and then come to you. It's no invoicing, nothing. It's very, very easy. It's once it's set up, you don't need to do anything because there's no paperwork or invoicing. So it's quite simple.
So basically, if I understand correctly, that also provides some income for the therapist ahead. So she's got like more of a cash flow. Is that right? Because she gets paid first.
Yeah. So basically, you sit on the platform. So when an employee is given a wellness card, they will come onto the platform. They'll look at, what is there? What would I like to choose? They can do a search by location, or they can do a search by, do I want something at home? Do I want something posted to me? Or do I want to go physically to somewhere? And once they've chosen that, they put that in the basket and they check out. And then the wellness provider will then get an email saying, especially if it's at home or online, we'll get an email to say, Carly has just bought X, and then you will then deal directly with the customer.
Okay, great.
If it's in person, they obviously come to you, but it is a very simple, easy process.
Perfect. That sounds wonderful.
One last question.
Yes.
Really curious now.
Okay.
Excuse me. How many people are accessing this card? Roughly, on the whole, how many people have the opportunity to get this card?
Roughly about, I won't give you this figure, but you think it's slightly mad, because sometimes I pinch myself, about 15 million UK
15
employees. Yes. UK employees, because we sit on employee benefits platforms, reward platforms, incentive platforms, motivation platforms, and and we work with about 25 different channel partners. So it's a big deal. It's pretty huge. And then we're in talks with retailers as well, WH Smith, Sainsbury's, different retailers, about being in store as well. So when you do your supermarket shop, you can pick something up as a gift as well. So there's the two-pronged thing. But so
okay, brilliant.
I'm so excited to watch this fly. I mean, it already is flying, but it's a great concept, and thank you so much for giving us your time today. And please stay connected with us at Spa Sisters Podcast, and also email us spasisterspodcast@gmail.com with any questions or queries. If you want to get in touch with Katrina, Katrina, do you have your social media handle that you can say?
No.
Is it at the wellness card, or at
it's people can email me, katrina@thewellnesscard.co.uk. I've got a LinkedIn page, or you could go onto the website. But I'm happy to have a chat with anyone if they want to understand more. There's no pressure. It's feel free to contact me. That's no problem.
Thank you so much, Katrina.
Thank you very much for your time. Bye bye.
Nice to meet you guys. Bye. Thank you.